Hi, I'm Zeev. I did a 50-mile walk around Manhattan, the five boroughs, and Jersey. Yeah, 4:56. It's dark out. Two pairs of socks in here. Balaclava if I get cold. I'm just worried I'll run out of energy. It is definitely go time. Anyway, woo! It's a little early, and this is my inspirational painting. This is me going for a crazy walk. All right, I'm already later than late. I feel like I should be able to do a 50-mile walk in the course of 16 hours. I'm already a little chilly. I think I am going to put my little hat on at this point. Up, 46 and 5:59. These are beautiful. Burberry. Wow, what a nice, artsy, gorgeous. And of course we got clothing and all the nice fancy-ish things that ultra-luxury tourist people will normally buy. I'm on the Queensboro, walking up the Manhattan side, which is extremely steep. It's really, really nice. It's like 6:30 almost, I guess. I don't know.
Total distance 2.08 miles.
At this point, I'm going to have a lot of hyperlapses where I just record going over bridges, getting to and from my walk. So I did my first 3 miles. I'm in Queens. It feels like the morning now. It's nice. People are up. It's light out. OJ. I don't know if I really want that banana. This is the approach and walkway to Roosevelt Island for cars. Nice. You get out of the bridge and circle down under a parking lot, and there were a lot of cherry blossoms. A nice little graffiti there. The island's so narrow, it's just one big strip up and down your left and right. There are the remains of two of the gondolas that go back and forth, the cable cars. You're right. You're about to see it. What it looks like in the early spring sun. Back over the bridge, back to Queens, and then north. In Astoria, there's a lot of great graffiti in northern Astoria, and it takes a lot of time to see all of it. Here's some of it, and I'll show you some of the buildings and Socrates Park as well. Before the graffiti of northern Astoria, you see the Socrates Park, eastern Astoria side. The RFK has a beautiful park under it. You walk under the park, and that's where I took a nice little break. The RFK Bridge leading from Queens all the way to the southern part of Randall's Island is probably the longest bridge in New York. A substantial part of it still has no fence blocking it from the water, unlike most bridges in New York, to stop people from jumping. So you get a great view. It feels a little bit lonely and dangerous up there, and it's so long you'd probably rather bike it. But walking it is a peculiar experience, particularly this early in the morning. It was so pleasant, no clouds, and you come off into this full tunnel-shaped fence, and it really feels like you're in this weird tunnely twilight zone when you're going down it, especially if you're biking and you're going fast. Walking around the southern tip of the island and come back up to the 103rd Street Bridge, which is a nice little green bridge. At this point, I did some hyperlapse videos of each bridge, but I really need, if I'm going to do a good walk, I need to put my feet up.
Total distance 9.95 miles.
Walking north on the East River, you see a lot of Randall's Island looking east. Abandoned piers, some messed up coast that they're fixing up. And then you get to 125th Street crossover bridge and back towards essentially Marcus Garvey Park. There's a lot of really nice stuff to see. It's statues, churches, some really great local graffiti, some beautiful buildings, and eventually Marcus Garvey Park, which is a great overlook, and you can see the tower. You work your way up north towards Yankee Stadium, and you get back to the amazing view of the East River looking towards the Bronx. You can see here I got a little impatient, didn't want to backtrack to go over a proper crossing, and the highway is pretty empty, so I just crossed over. The East River is really pleasant on a sunny day. The highway is on your left, the water's right on your right, and you see some beautiful underpasses, the aqueducts. Gorgeous here, it really is. You get to see the three, and this is the Peter J. Sharp Boathouse. I've walked here once, it's super nice. just spectacular.
Total distance 16.57 miles.
You know, it's like you walk a lot, you can get cramps in this spot or like just tension. So at around 220th Street, I crossed the Broadway Bridge across to the Bronx. You could see that I actually bumped into somebody that I knew, and I said hello. And then you have to walk a little bit around north to get a crossover over the Bronx Highway so that you can cross back over in Riverside south towards the Henry Hudson Bridge, which is really high up and a beautiful bridge that they just opened a few years ago. And that statue is really probably one of the most impressive pedestal statues in all of New York City. Before going back to Manhattan over the Henry Hudson Bridge, I passed this gorgeous church on the way up. It's probably one of the nicest churches I've seen. It's pretty quickly south onto the bridge. There is a twist bridge. Probably one of the nicest things you can wait to see is either a boat going through, which we got to see. So I just walked the Bronx. That was fabulous. So much beautiful stuff. I'm in Inwood. I gotta get moving. All right. Bridge looks just amazing from here, from the north in Manhattan. You got some guys doing some good exercises. Pull-ups. Let's do some pull-ups. There were a lot of cool things I saw before getting onto the George Washington Bridge. You can see me speeding across the Washington Bridge. There's a pretty circular on-ramp, and there were just tons of cyclists today. It's actually kind of dangerous to walk over the bridge. I walked across the bridge around this little cliffside park, and there I met Sherry. She says, hey, you want to go up? I'll meet you at the top. I'm not getting in the car. Hi, Sherry. Jersey's awesome. Love Jersey. George Washington's great. Here's New Jersey. You should call it New Jersey. So we headed back over the George Washington Bridge together. Sherry said goodbye. She walked across with me, and then she walked back to her car.
Total distance 27.86 miles.
I walk from here all the way down to the 79th Street Boat Basin. I just saw the guy who's the spike boarding guy. He's on a longboard and he uses a long pole. It was a good luck sign. It was like really, really good omen because that guy is very creative, very independent minded, and he sticks with it. It's a bunch of geese. They're like on a rock. Labrador friendly dog just wanted to lick me. I let him, and then I just walked on the dock, and it was nice getting to a familiar friend. So you'll forgive me, but here's what I'm gonna do.
You line your back with your feet on the ledge.
Yeah. He's like,
Total distance 32.56 miles.
you wanna give me a foot massage? Okay. I mean, I'm feeling good. You know? I'm looking at the ferry schedule. Leaves on the hour every 30 minutes. And if I go slow, I'll catch the 7:30. All right, here we are. The ferry, and I feel pretty damn good. My legs are good. I got 2 eggs, and I got music. I'm good. Maybe I just don't know how bad I am yet. And I made it with time to spare. I came in here with 5 minutes early, so not bad. I'd say 4 minutes early, not 5 minutes. The speed walking to the ferry was pretty intense. I probably speed walked about 4 miles. I don't really want to go into Staten Island if I don't got to. Yeah. It's leaving right now. All right. Okay, we get it back. This is New York for you. This is New York for you. I've got a giant pagan.
How the fuck did you get down here so quick?
Look at that guy.
I can't be late.
There you go. New York. You can't be late. That guy looks like a guy who can't be late, that's for sure. Killarney Pub. I don't think I've ever seen or been in this place. Let me just check it out for 2 seconds. Seen it from the other side.
Let's just go through it. I love this place.
My walk through the financial district was pleasant. I walked through and into a couple of beautiful buildings. You go up these steps, and there's just this magnificent cubist almost piece of art, and I just love it. There's something about it, the way it's shaped, the way the depth is, the black lines. I couldn't help but just, sort of race around it and go through it and play with it. That's the American Chamber of Commerce. It's one of the most beautiful buildings in Manhattan, if you ask me. It's just spectacular.
So it's St. Patrick's Day soon, because that building's stunning. I think it's called the Beekman or something. I don't think I've ever been in the Beekman. What a beautiful place. It's gorgeous. Oh my God, look at that. Wow. That's straight up.
So after the Beekman, I basically just hurried through the City Hall neighborhood, which is nice but quiet. And I just powered up the Brooklyn Bridge, which is always gorgeous at night. At this point, it was probably 9 at night. Navigating Dumbo just to get from the Brooklyn to the Manhattan Bridge, it's not the most pleasant particular walk, but it is short. And the nice thing is you don't really have to go under the Manhattan Bridge. The pedestrian side of the Manhattan Bridge is the south-facing side. It is really quiet, though, and kind of scary. And the bridge just very gradually goes down. It's not like the Brooklyn Bridge. It's easily the best bridge to bicycle over to get to Brooklyn or to Manhattan. But it's got an action. It feels like gritty New York.
What's your name?
I'm Greg. Along this side,
It's gorgeous.
line back there.
I love
And
it.
get that one right there.
This is awesome.
We'll make sure that
Wild and this is wild. So many surprises. That was such a great place. I'm in New York Noodletown having my favorite meal. Just a wonton soup.
Total distance 54.55 miles.
72. I mean, just how amazing is this thing?
Tiredness settled in, and I was at Union Square, and it was enjoyable. It was starting to get late at night, and there weren't too many people out because of the corona quarantine. I heard some people in the park screaming about an exorcism on a bench, which I thought was odd, but I just kept walking. At this point, I began to be walking on mostly fumes. Walking up Park Avenue in the 30s and 40s at night is gorgeous. A lot of beautiful buildings, and you get to see the Chrysler, and it's just something really nice. Of course, the library at Bryant Park and Bryant Park are gorgeous. Just a pleasant walk across town towards the overly well-lit Times Square. And, just walking up these bollards, seeing all the excessive light, it was kind of nice. I walked through a couple of these through block buildings. They're always kind of fun, especially in the winter when there's bad weather. Between 6th and 7th or 5th and 6th has a bunch of them. Frankly, at the end of the long walk, it felt like walking through Times Square and just seeing and feeling the life there, and seeing one of my favorite little icons, the neon American flag for the recruiting station. It was just uplifting, and it gave me more energy, just as I was trying to make my way up Broadway. So I just figured after the Elmo guys kind of assaulted me, I would just go get some food. At this point, I'm on 47th Street, I'm walking north, and I'm like, I'm kind of like in the home stretch, right? I'm heading towards 57th Street, and at this point I can smell it and taste it, but I'm exhausted.
So, thank you. 5 to 12. I'm getting some decaf coffee here. My mind's a little bit of a blur, but no visit to Lincoln Center would be replete without a circumambulation of the lake. Oh, it's just here for you to walk around. Not a soul is stirring at 12:30 on a Saturday night. So we circumambulated.
Total distance 60.57 miles.
All right.
Total time 19 hours.
If the ferry ride is 5.2 miles, then I walked 50 miles today. I'm here. Wow.